Well, I guess now that I've done all the fixing, replacing the broken bits, we really ought to have a look inside at the mechanics, see how it works. Turn that back off again for now. Now, I'm pretty sure we've got a motor there and a motor there. That one drives that wheel, that one drives that wheel, and obviously the tracks are drawn all the way around. Here it looks like we've got a motor that's going to turn the main body around. Looks like that's a few screws there we can undo. The one that might be a bit awkward to get to will be the one that's in there that lifts the arm up and down. So where will we start? I expect we can start here because this looks like it might be the easiest one to get to. That feels like it's turning without coming undone. That one feels a bit more positive. A magnet to put the bits on. Okay, right, well, we've got a fair few bits in there. Oh, I didn't expect all that. Seriously didn't expect all that. I'll move the camera so we can get a bit closer. Well, we can do the easy things. We do have a speaker there for sound effects. We've got a yellow and blue wire going down there for that motor. And we've got a red and white wire going up to that motor. That strip there appears to be the termination for that cable. That looks like that comes round the back there, stripped off there. The wires are all going down here. Yeah, so they're going, got diodes here, looks like. Interesting. And a couple of resistors, little small resistors, surface mount. Let's have a look on the other side, see if we got anything else on there. Another screw up there. Right, nothing on the other side, so it is just terminating all those wires. Just a convenient place to terminate them so they don't go directly off to the other bits and pieces. And then this bit down here, that will be the sound effects, got a black blob on it, and then goes to the speaker. So that's our sound effect board. And in there's our motor that will be driving that big white gear to turn the whole thing round. I think we can look at that without everything falling apart. Another screw under there. Okay. Well, I suppose we can have a look inside of that, can't we? But yeah, that's the gearbox. Motor's facing that way, so there must be a couple of gears going that way and ending up just there to drive that, which is then reduced down to that one to do that, to actually turn the whole bodywork. And interestingly enough, we do have wires go straight up through the middle there. So I would think they would get twisted if you kept turning it one way. Let's have a look in here. Let's just turn the camera down a little bit. Right. So let's... Come on. You want to come off there? Yes, you do. Okay. Right, now for the gearbox. Let's just hope it doesn't all fall apart. Oh, we've got some clips. I hate clips because they usually snap when you try and get them apart. It's going to insist on me undoing the clip on the other side. Right, ready for this? Hope it doesn't fall apart. Right, there we go. So, worm gear, big gear, small gear, big gear, small gear, big gear, small gear. And that would also look like it's got some sort of ratchet on it because it's spring mounted. Yeah, do that without it falling apart. I think if I pull that, I would think, I can't see. Hang on, I'm going to have to look at that close. Yeah, right. Let's get close up. Okay, that spring is a giveaway. If I turn that hard enough, you can just see it clicking over. There. So that's stress release. In case the whole turning mechanism jams up, that will click over so that all these little gears don't get broken. So that can go back on there. Oh, I've got to make sure they line up, haven't we? Ooh, rude words. I have to reach in there just to poke them around a bit so they line up. Right, I'll do that off camera. Right, that's back together. So press the button. So that's okay. Now, if we want to get the top off, we're going to have to undo those screws so that can come out and the top can go the other way. And the wires that go up there, there'll be a couple of wires, I think probably that green and black there, probably go up to the light that's on the top. And then the thicker wires, the white and the green, will be the drive motors for the arm. Okay, stop the video at that point, and then we'll come back again, take those screws out and take the top off. Right, this will be stage 2. I'm going to undo those screws so we can lift that gear off. That should separate the top half so we can have a look at how the arm goes up and down. And before I do that, I'll put these screws back in here before we forget what they're for. We'll go back on there. Right, let's put some of these other screws out of the way. Can we put... I don't really want to put that back in place yet. No, all right, we're going to have to put all those screws out of the way so we don't lose them. Right, this one. One. Two. Three. A bit of muck and dirt in there, just wipe that off. You can see the top half has come apart. Let that down. Bit of plastic there, that's come off something. Ah, right. That bit of plastic that I just said has come off something. Just there, that bit of plastic was sticking straight up to stop you doing a full rotation. Because if you keep doing full rotation, you're going to wind that wire up. So that was interesting. Now, this is getting a little bit tight. Looks like we've got to undo that screw. Possibly all of those screws, don't know. So we can get the arm out. Looks to me like under there we've got a separation join, comes down there and probably along there. So we might have to cut that. We could try and peel it off, but it'll never go back again. So a neat cut straight down the middle is probably the best option. And then we might be able to get the motor out, get the arm mechanism out. And whatever we do, we're going to be tight on this wire. That's that side. Don't think there is one on the other side. Trouble with this sort of thing is you end up stretching the wires and it all goes horribly wrong when you can't find where the wires went. Right, I'm not going to film this because I need to get my hands in there, but I'll tell you which screws I've undone afterwards. Right, those 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've just removed the cab, and as I say, the wires go up there to the light at the top. And we do need to get that off because there's some screws in the side there that we'll probably need to get to. I think if I undo that screw and the one down there, and that screw, and that screw, then the arm mechanism will lift out. Can we see that again? Didn't see very clearly. Just wondering why. Yeah, that screw, that screw, that screw, and that screw, and I think the arm mechanism will then come free. I'm just very aware that these wires are a bit short. Right, that was right. Those 4 screws, this now pivots and comes out. So, yeah, this is fun. Can the camera see that? Let's see if we can get, that didn't help. That's a bit better. Up in there is a motor pointing down vertically. That'll be driving a gearbox there, which eventually drives a gear there, which drives a gear there. And then we've got a cam to push that. Can we manoeuvre that? No, you can't manoeuvre that. Can we do it with the motor on? Power on. Let's move the camera back a bit. Go wide angle. Right. Okay, so we're looking at this cam here. It's going to move that lever. Here we go. I'm just going to knock the light over here. All right, carry on. Just stop there and just point out we've got 2 actions going on. We've got this white cam and we got the silver cam. So the silver cam is moving one lever up in there and the white cam is moving another lever. I really don't feel like taking the whole thing apart. But we'll just see if we can see a bit more with the camera. Right, okay. As I say, we've got two actions going on. We've got the white cam here, lever, moving that one, which is moving main arm, I think, and then the silver one going up in there, and that's moving the top arm eventually. Let's watch that working. I think that'll do. We're not going to see much more than that. And I'm not going to take this apart. You can see the silver case up there of the motor, which is pointing down into this gearbox, which is obviously a reduction gearbox, which is driving that gear in there. And various other gears. And ends up driving that one, which is turning that, which has got the silver arm connected on there, and that side, the white arm, is manoeuvring this. Yeah, I'm not going to take this all apart. I'm sorry, some people will want to see it, but I'm not going to. Nah. I'm thinking about it. You can tell I'm thinking about it. That's an awful lot of screws to undo. I'm going to stop and have a cup of tea and have a think whether I want to go that far, because that's going to be another episode just on its own. Right, I've had a cup of tea, so we will take this cover off, see what we can see. I've taken a couple of the screws out already. That's why it won't come apart, still got the label on it. Right, oh, we can see a bit clearer. Motor, gearbox, and the two cams. We'll have a look what goes up here now. Right, okay, let's move the camera a little bit. So, when that turns round, that pushes that up and down. That looks like there's a bit broken off there. Yeah, I suspect there should be something on there. Anything on the back of there? Nope, nothing on the back of there. Do we risk operating it? Can we move out a bit? Not really. I have to move the camera. Hang on. Try and get it all in the shot. This bit at the bottom, that turns the base that way, which actually moves the arm up and down that way. And then this is going up through the middle to pivot this bit. I reckon there should be a bit on there, holding bits together there. And that looks like that's a bit that's broken off. So I think there's something that holds that straight. I'll have a little think about that, whether it's worth trying to print something or whether that will actually harm it. Because we haven't seen the original, we don't know. But that does look like somehow or other that's supposed to stay rigid. I'll have a think and then I'll probably put it all back together. I've put it back together. I haven't done anything about that bit that I thought might be broken, because I've got no way of knowing whether it is broken or whether it's supposed to be like that, so it flexes. So I'll just put it back together, because that seems to work. So yeah, I'll now put that back in there, put that back together, put that back on. I won't bother filming it. And then we'll have a look at the last bit, which is the motors that drive the wheels. Well, I was just screwing this all back together, picked it up, and that dropped out. I reckon that's what's supposed to be on that, the end of that grey bit where it goes to the yellow bit. A spring flexy bit. So I'll take it apart and put that in there. Right, I don't think it goes on that pillar, I think it goes on there. I think that's broken off. And that spring would go either side of that and that. But it does seem to more or less work if I put it on there. I don't know about that. But that does limit it a bit, stop it flexing right the way over. So I'll leave it on there, but I think it probably went on there. It's much too long, isn't it? It's got to be there. Just a quick check before we take apart the drive motor or gearbox. So forwards, backwards on both sides. I should have shown you that, shouldn't I? So that's still working. Turn the body. So we've got that back together, and then the arm. Right, so that'll do. Turn that off. Now we'll have a look, see if we can get down to the drive motors. What I'm hoping is we can get the gearbox apart without having to separate the track. Up at this end, I've got this bicycle spoke in there to show where the join is. There should be a short length of wire or something in there. It's missing from this side, but it's in place on the other side. That's what links, that's the linking thread at that point. The others are just straight through, but that particular one has a spine down it to join it together. But I'm hoping I can reach through and undo the screws. One there. That one's going to be a little bit awkward. That one should be all right. And there's one there, so there's 4 screws to get to. And if we're lucky, we can then get the case apart and have a look at the gearbox. If we're unlucky, then we're going to have to separate the track. It's funny how sometimes screws want to come out and other times they don't. There's one. 2. 3. And the other one dropped inside. Now, is that going to come off? Oh yeah, there we are. I should be able to get to that other screw. There we are. Right, let's move it over so we can see. Not bad sized motors. Don't know whether that will lift out now. No, it won't. We have to undo some more screws if we want to see the gearbox. To be honest, I don't see a lot of point in looking at the gearbox. But somebody's going to want to see it, aren't they? I wonder which screws hold it in place and which ones. Going to be awkward if all the gears drop out when it's still stuck in position. One. Well, that moved then. Looks like I've still got to undo them all. Oh, that's frustrating. coming free. Coming free, but we're not free enough, or are we? Can I lever it out? No, I think I'm going to have to disconnect the track. Or can we see enough there? We might be able to see enough there. If I can probably still get the cover off. So that screw and that screw were the ones that screwed it to the bodywork, and this screw and that screw are the ones that hold the gearbox together. So if we do this, it's either going to all fall out and I'm going to be upset, or we're going to be exceedingly lucky. I think we're going to be lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Right, we can see it. All right, so it's another worm gear, which clearly drives that gear, which has got a small gear on the back of it, which drives that gear that's got a small gear on the back of it, which drives that gear, which is the actual drive on the shaft. Can we see that clearly enough? Yeah, I think we can see that clearly enough, so I'm not going to worry about going any further. There's a bit of hair in there, but I think we're all right. I'll see if I can clean that out, and then I'll put the cover back on, and we've seen enough. That's it, because the one on the other side is going to be exactly the same, so that'll do. I will give it a final test, but I'll just point out these are the two bits that I found inside that were broken. That silver piece just there was from the linkage that went up in the arm, and that black piece was in the base that stopped the body rotating more than 360 degrees. It was a stop to stop you going all the way around. Now that I could probably make a complete replacement, a T-piece that I could glue to the base with that bit sticking up to stop it going all the way around. That piece, potentially I could probably put a bolt right the way through from the other side, but I don't think I'll do either. It works. If I give it away, then whoever uses it may have problems with it, but I may keep it for a while and just see if my grandchildren, grandsons in particular, want to play with it, and then I may get rid of it. So a final demonstration. Well, camera stopped filming then for some reason, no idea why. But yeah, it's all working. I don't think I'll worry about the couple of bits that are broken because it still works even though those little bits were broken. I'll see if my grandsons enjoy it and then I'll probably donate it back to another charity shop. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.